Hi, Kathy Brennan here. I'm going to talk today about why I wrote a book. You might have a book that you want to write, or you wonder why someone would do it, or you wonder how hard it is and what it takes. I was going to talk about my process. So, probably about 5-6 years ago, I hired a coach, just a life coach. And it was just really stepping outside of my comfort zone. It didn't even seem normal, but I took this step anyways. And through my work with her, I realized how much I liked writing. And after I realized that, I remember back when I was in high school having a real clear vision about being a writer. It just kind of came back to me. Anyways, it naturally happened. So I started to write a blog, and then I began to do some public speaking about my topic. And then I wanted to keep writing, and I thought, I want to really write a book. And because this visual of when I was young writing came so clear to me, I'll tell you it. I don't know if it's interesting to anyone, but I'm sitting on a typewriter, because this is back in the 70s where there were computers. I'm sitting at a typewriter in front of a great big window with pine trees outside. It's lightly snowing, and I'm wearing a black and red plaid shirt. Don't know. I just had that vision. So anyways, I digress. So the next reason that I decided to write a book is I have a story to tell. And I know everyone has a story to tell. My story involves a long battle with depression, going to doctors, having them prescribe medications. The medications didn't work. Visiting counselors. There was nothing deep and dark in my past. So they kind of dismissed me. There was nothing to uncover. And then the church wasn't a help either, because I really realized this was not a spiritual problem, but then I got all messed up with maybe it is a spiritual problem and maybe I don't have enough faith. So none of those could help me, and I kept asking a question. I kept pushing and pushing because I needed to be well. And I'll just say that the doctors, the counselors in the church, none of them were completely off the mark. I am not here to bash those institutions and industries and people, but none of them were complete. So this is the story I have to tell. No one of those could help me get unstuck from my depression, because none of them had the complete answer. Another reason I wrote a book is I just do not want anyone else to go through what I've gone through. I don't want anyone else to be that lonely and desperate and without answers, because I have answers. I really have answers, and they really work. They work whether you're depressed or whether you're just stuck with some kind of life problem. It works when anything comes up in life where you just stop and you are frustrated or angry or don't know what to do. I have answers. I really have answers. And it came from my journey and my story. And it feels real good to put it down on paper so somebody else can read it. I don't even have to explain it all to them anymore. They could read these answers and they can have them for themselves, and it can help them in every moment of their life. It works. It really works. When I'm sad, I know what to do. I know how to think. I know what questions to ask. When I feel weak or tired, lethargic, I know what questions to ask. I know what to do. I know how to get myself out of that. And when I have questions about life, big questions, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know how to answer those questions. I know the next step to take. It's not simple, yet it's real simple. And I'm so glad I put it down. So you can do that too. I'm going to give you a little hint about how this works. When I'm sad, even a reason that's real legitimate, let's say a loved one just got in a bad car accident, or it could be I'm disappointed I didn't get a promotion at work, or it could be my boyfriend just dumped me. When we're sad, these are emotional problems. That's an emotional thing. So we think emotional, like how can I fix my emotions? Well, one of the ways we can fix our emotion is to ask ourselves, hey, how am I feeling physically? Did I get enough sleep last night? Have I been eating a good diet? Am I hydrated? Have I been active? Because all of those things absolutely affect your emotions. They absolutely affect how you handle what's going on. Really good to start thinking in that way before this sadness becomes blown up because we don't have an immediate answer. Think about your body, because your body really will affect how your emotions work. And then the other trick is to think about what I call the 7 spiritual principles. And this doesn't have anything to do with religion, although your religion, your faith practice might really dovetail in with this really well. So my 7 spiritual principles are faith, gratitude, hope, joy, love, meaning, and purpose. So when you're sad, let's say your boyfriend just broke up with you. That is certainly a reason to be sad, and you don't want to skip over it. But you do want to think to yourself, what do I have to be grateful for? Maybe you're grateful because he really was a jerk and it's a good thing. Maybe you're grateful that you live with a family that's supportive, or you have friends that are supportive. Maybe you're grateful for the experience of having had this relationship and what you learned from it. Maybe you're grateful just that it's finally over, like something was happening and you didn't understand it all and now it's just over. Maybe you're grateful you have a bed to sleep in tonight. Maybe you're grateful you have friends to call. What can you be grateful about? And let's continue with this boyfriend thing, because this is, we all get rejected by people. How about love? Now, you might feel unloved by them. All of a sudden, they do not love you, and that's not what you want. I want you to think about how you love yourself. What do you love about yourself? What's good about yourself? Don't listen to what the person who just decided they didn't want a relationship with you, because there were things that they did not love. There's certainly lovable things about all of us. So what do you love about yourself? Go through it in your mind. This will help the sadness. What do you hope for? Maybe you hope for a better relationship with the next person. You hope that tomorrow you're going to feel better. And that's, if it's evening or night and you're having this sadness, get yourself to sleep. Really, it really will look better in the morning. Our bodies are tired at the end of the day. So with an emotional sadness, there can be a physical way to look at getting unstuck from that, and a spiritual way. So let's say you're feeling real tired. You don't know why, you got a good night's sleep and you're feeling tired. So what is it? Is it your diet? It might be something real obvious. You've been having a whole bunch of sugar or carbs. It's just weighing down on your body. But it also might be a mental health thing. It might be that you are don't have that the stress of life is weighing you down. Like this, let's say the stress at work is causing you to just be so tired and you don't know how you're going to face another day. Well, you need to think in this new way. You can face the next day. You do own your emotions. You can choose your attitudes. You get to own your life. You get to determine its course. So if this is a job that you cannot handle or do not like, you can change that job. You can. You really can. We lean back and go, oh, I can, but I earn too much money, or I earn too little, or there's no other jobs. That's not the truth. It's your life. If this job is not working for you, you can own that and change it. If your boss is being overly critical and you don't like that, you can create boundaries with your boss. You can tell him or her how you feel. I feel mistreated when you pile lots of work on me at night because you're not doing it to anyone else and it's not part of my job description. I want us to discuss what my workload is going to be. That's just an example. That's on you. That's something you can do. But this physical stress and this tiredness might stem from a mental emotional issue. Or it might stem from just a question of, what am I here for? What is this all about? Oh, there's no even reason or purpose in life. Well, those are also yours to decide. You get to discover the meaning of the events of your life. You can embrace those spiritual principles. You can choose to be joyful even though things aren't exactly what you want right now. You can find purpose and meaning in what's going on, even though you're in the middle of it. But those are your choices. And when you start to think in these new ways, that tiredness can lift, because now maybe you have some hope about what can happen. And finally, if there's a spiritual, like if you just aren't grateful for stuff, that can cause you to just be off. And then, but it might be again back to, because your body is unhealthy. Your body is something obvious. Your body is something you live in every day. You live inside of it. If it's not operating properly, it will affect your mind and heart. It'll affect your attitudes. You must take care of her or him. Think of it like a tool. So I want you to start thinking in these different ways. This is why I wrote a book, because this is what helped me. Depression was not simply a mental health issue. I could not heal from depression by talking to counselors, because that wasn't the only problem. Now, did I have mental health issues? Certainly. I had constant negative self-talk. I was super judgmental about other people. I didn't look forward to the future. I was negative. My glass was half empty. These were things I just learned how to do differently. So I certainly had some mental health issues. But the secret is, and this is another huge reason I wrote this book. The main reason I was depressed was a physical health issue. And I'm not even kidding. It was physical because I ate so much sugar and carbs that I was real reactive. And caffeine affected me a lot. I was up and I was down, and I was up and I was down. I was never steady. So physically, my body was so unhealthy, and it created all this chaos in my mind. So I started to eat right. Who knew? Seriously, no one in the early 90s was saying, your depression might have to do with nutrition. And I read a book and it opened my eyes to this possibility. And as I started to eat right and feel better, feel more relaxed, then I could start to work on those mental health issues. And finally, I've always been what you would say religious, or I've always been faith-filled and gone to church, and it's just I don't question it. I don't have any problems with that. Not that I don't have a lot of questions for God. I certainly do. But in my depressed state, I never considered myself worthy in the eyes of God, or really worthy in the eyes of anyone else. So I had to stop that thinking and start to understand my worth. Everyone has worth. Everyone has something to offer. That we all do. We really do. That's why we're here, to offer our best gifts to everyone else. So I had to do a major shift spiritually to accept that I was valuable, like the next person is valuable. I always thought I was less valuable than the next person. So this is why I wrote a book, because I had to do it. This is why people write self-help books, because they figure out a way to get through a problem that no one else can help them with. And the thing is, you can do it too. And the beauty of this is this way of thinking, this mindset will help you in any area of your life. You don't have to be depressed for this to work. You just have to be living life and having things come up. And you will come across these questions. And when you have this new mindset, you'll be able to get right out of them. So that's why I wrote a book. It was a really wonderful process. More confusing than I thought it would be. I am an accountant and I consider myself organized, but the hardest part was organizing my ideas, just to shift them around so many times. So it's been a great experience. I had some great help. I use the company called Wise Inc. And I hope, if you're so inclined, that you buy the book and it helps you get into this new mindset, and it helps you get unstuck from the problems that just come up in life. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.